Other than Mark Cuban, Lori is by far the most sought-after shark on Shark Tank due to her ability to blow up products on TV. Whether that be the Simply Fit board or the Scrub Daddy, if the product is easily demonstratable, Lori is often the best choice. In fact, 3 out of the top 5 best-performing Shark Tank deals were with Lori. Due to this marketing superpower, Lori is often called the Queen of QVC. So what are her biggest picks from the show? Today, we are going to show you just that. Starting with number 4, Bantam Bagels. When Nick and Elise Oleksak worked in corporate finance, they would watch the hit reality pitch show Shark Tank every Friday night. Nick would call Elise from work on Monday with his ideas for starting their own business. But they weren't the multi-million ideas until one night in May 2012 when Nick dreamed up the idea to make mini bagel balls stuffed with cream cheese. After coming up with the bagel recipe in their Brooklyn kitchen, the couple called their friends and family for a round of seed financing to open their bakery, Bantam Bagels, in New York City in 2013. Enter Shark Tank. They went on to the show hoping to get a $275,000 investment from shark Lori Greiner, and that's exactly what they got. They did, however, have to give away more than 2 times the equity they'd intended in exchange for the cash. They'd hoped to get the investment for 11% of their business, but Greiner negotiated for 25%. The couple knew that giving away such a hefty piece of their business was a risk, but they also determined that the potential upside was worth it. Their risk paid off. The benefits were immediate. Overloaded by the surge in traffic, their website crashed while their segment was airing. Next morning, there was already a line out the door of their Bleecker Street location, which didn't open until 9 a.m. Before they went on the show, Nick and Elise had done $200,000 in sales. A year later, they were doing more than $2 million. Bantam Bagels was still growing fast. The couple secured a deal with Starbucks for their bagels to appear in more than 7,700 stores across the U.S., all the company-owned Starbucks in the country. And while the family-run business is a full-time team of 3, Elise, Nick, and Nick's younger sister, the tiny team contracts out various legs of the supply chain. And in 2018, 5 years after Nick and Elise Oleksak pursued a literal dream of stuffed bagels to found Bantam Bagels, the couple have sold the business to Marzetti Company, owned by the publicly traded Lancaster Colony Corporation, for $34 million. It's safe to say they turned their 15 minutes of fame on Shark Tank in 2015 into a multi-billion-dollar opportunity. Number 3. Squatty Potty. Squatty Potty is a plastic stool that fits around the base of your toilet. The stool raises your legs into a squatting position, which simulates the natural squatting position used by our ancestors to go to the bathroom. This position helps to align the colon and relieve constipation. Enter Shark Tank. Bobby and Judy Edwards went in wanting an investment of $350,000 for 5% equity. Bobby started by explaining the introduction, benefits, profits, and finally the licenses he needs to bring into retail. The first offer Bobby and Judy got was $350,000 for 10% from Kevin O'Leary. This offer was countered by Bobby at $700,000 for 10%. As Robert didn't see the margins and the future of the product, he was out. Lori jumped in. She agreed with Kevin that the deal was worth more share in the company and gave an offer of $350,000 for 10%. He countered that as well, saying $500,000 for 10%. Bobby and Judy finally decided to take Lori's offer at $350,000 for 10% equity. After the show, sales went exponential. Their sales in retail had promising ground as Lori helped them to go to 11,000 stores of Bed Bath & Beyond. They had $1 million in sales within 24 hours of the Shark Tank appearance. At the time of the Shark Tank appearance, Squatty Potty was valued at around $3.5 million. The company's initial funding was $15.7 million in 2017. Post-Shark Tank success has grown well and achieved sales of $164 million. Number 2. Scrub Daddy. This product is a household name today, but it wasn't always that way. The story of how this sponge business became a multi-million-dollar empire is an inspiring one. filled with challenges and triumphs. Scrub Daddy was founded by a man named Aaron Krause, who had a passion for entrepreneurship and innovation. He was always on the lookout for new and unique business ideas, and one day he stumbled upon a material that could change the cleaning game forever. This material was a soft and flexible polymer that changed texture depending on the temperature of the water. In 2012, Krause brought his idea to the Shark Tank. Mark Cuban, Robert Herjavec, Kevin O'Leary, and Damon John didn't immediately see the vision for the sponge with a smile. But luckily, Lori Greiner saw a hero. Aaron made a deal with Lori Greiner for $200,000 for a 20% stake in the Scrub Daddy business. He had originally entered the tank looking for $100,000 for a 10% stake in this business. But Aaron got way more than he asked for, which definitely helped him and Scrub Daddy become one of the most successful companies to ever enter the tank. Since then, Scrub Daddy has been on an upward trajectory. The company has expanded its product line to include not just sponges, but also dish brushes and scrubbers. Scrub Daddy has also been featured on various TV shows and has been endorsed by top celebrities and influencers. What sets Scrub Daddy apart from other cleaning products is its unique texture-changing technology. This material is soft and gentle on delicate surfaces, but it also can scrub tough grime and dirt. This makes Scrub Daddy the perfect cleaning tool for any household, and it has won over millions of fans around the world. As the company has grown, so has its commitment to sustainability. Scrub Daddy uses eco-friendly materials and packaging, and the company has been recognized for its efforts by organizations like Green America. Lori helped Scrub Daddy thrive throughout America, and as the company was such a success, they even launched their products in the UK. Not long after their UK launch, they partnered with cleaning guru Mrs. Hinch, who still to this day promotes Scrub Daddy products to her 4.5 million followers. So how much money did Lori make on Scrub Daddy? It's hard to determine how much Lori Greiner made from the Scrub Daddy deal. But as the company made $200 million in sales in 2013 alone, then she easily got back her investment and more just within 12 months. As Scrub Daddy became one of the most successful businesses to ever enter the tank, it's very safe to say that Lori has made several $1 million from her investment in the smiley-faced sponge business. Next up is Julia Cheek of Everlywell, seeking $1 million for 5% equity. Being sick is already stressful enough, but getting lab results can be more draining. Everlywell resolves this by providing a way to perform health testing at home. Founder Julia Cheek appeared on Shark Tank and made a deal with Lori Greiner. It is now one of the most successful Shark Tank companies. As of 2013, Everlywell is worth $2.9 billion. The startup was rapidly expanding, and Julia needed to raise capital quickly to compete against the bigger players in the market. She appeared on Season 9 of Shark Tank, seeking $1 million in exchange for 5%. The Sharks were impressed with the revenue figures, but knew the healthcare space was incredibly competitive. Also, Everlywell would need to raise more capital in the future, which could dilute their equity. Lori Greiner was the only shark willing to take a gamble. She offered $1 million as a line of credit with 8% interest and 5% equity, and Julia accepted. Julia desperately needed a line of credit and was thrilled to get Lori on board. The at-home health testing company expanded rapidly after Shark Tank. 2 years after the deal with Lori closed, Everlywell earned $65 million in lifetime sales. Everlywell has successfully raised $255.55 million from 18 investors, with the latest funding round of $75 million coming in January 2021. A funding round in December 2020 valued the business at $1.3 billion. Some of the capital raised has gone towards acquiring other companies. In March 2021, they acquired PWN Health and Home Access Health Corp. in a cash and stock deal. Julia combined the two companies into a parent company called Everly Health. After the deal closed, Everlywell was valued at $2.9 billion. Everly Health opened up the checkbook for a third time in 2021 when they bought women's health startup Natalist. The company now has over 600 employees and made over $200 million in annual sales. No recent sales figures have been released, given the company's huge success, it's possible they will go public within the next 2 to 3 years.